Namaskar, Jai Hind. In this video lecture, I am going to discuss about topic 9, that is controlling. And under this topic, I am going to discuss the steps in the process of control. This is very important and interesting topic of management. And whenever the business organization used to develop any strategy, any policy, they want that whatever the strategy they have devised for the organization, for the for to become the competitive in the market, they want also to ensure that it is going in the right direction. It should not be that at the end the strategy should fail or the policy should fail, because on the regular basis they want to evaluate whether it is going in the right direction or not. So that is what the purpose of controlling here. So let us try to understand what are the definitions or what are the view the different authors have about the controlling. Then we will be discussing about uh, what is the process or what are the steps in the process of control. So according to Bridge, control is checking current performance against predetermined standards contained in the plans with a view to ensuring adequate progress and the satisfactory performance. So it says that it is checking the current performance and whatever the standards have been set by the business organizer. So they want to ensure that it is in the satisfactory performance. According to George R. Terry, controlling is determining what is being accomplished, that is evaluating the performance, and if necessary, applying corrective measures so that the performance takes place according to the plans. So this definition suggests that whatever the plans you have, whether it is going in the right direction or not, if it is not going in the right direction, then you should able to adjust your strategy so that we are able to meet our the performance standards. Then according to Billy E. Ghosh, management control seeks to compel events to confirm plans. Then, according to Robert and Anthony, it says that management control is the process by which managers assure that that resources are obtained and used effectively and efficiently. That means the Robert is in the view of that whatever the resources are in the need for for meeting the performance or the standard whatever we have set, then the resources that is going to ensure that effectively the resources are available at the right place so that the plans are we are able to meet the plans as plans and we are able to have the performance basically. Then according to Kunj and O'Donnell, managerial controls implies measurement of accomplishment against the standard and the correction of deviations to assure attainment of objectives according to the plans. That means we have to measure the current performance, and then if we find any deviations, then we have to adjust our strategy. Then, in the words of Haynes and Massey, fundamentally control is any process that guides activity towards some predetermined goal. The essence of the concept is in determining whether the activity is achieving the desired results. And the Henry Fayol, the famous author of management, he says that control consists in verifying whether everything occurs in conformity with the plan adopted, the instructions issued, and the principle established. Its object is to find out the weakness and errors in order to rectify them and prevent recurrence. Then areas of control. What are the areas of control we have in the management? So mostly defined in terms of the four basic resources, that is physical, informational, human, and financial resources. So these are the area of control in the area of management. So these are the four resources as we understand: the physical, the informational, human, and the financial resources. So the basic control processes, there are four steps basically here: establishing standards, measuring performance against these standards, comparing performance with the standards, correcting variations from standard and plans and correction of deviations. So here the first point is here that establishing standard. So you are going to first set the standard that whatever the strategy you have. First of all, we are going to set the standard for that, like, so that set after that we are going to measure the performance based on these standards. If you take your example here, like we can talk about the evaluation process here. So we can understand that first of all there are like the 40% is the passing. So after that the first division, second division, and third division. So this is basically set the standard that if you are getting this much, then you will be getting the first division. That means the good performance you have. Then after that the second division, then the third division, then the passing marks. So in the same way, the organization also used to measure like whether the growth should be at 10%, 15%, whatever the strategy the business organization have set. Then, like if you have said that in a year the 10% growth should be there, so equally it is divided into the month. That if there is a 12 month, then how much we should be able to get in first month, then second month, then third month. Like that, we have established the standard. So now we are going to see that each month whether whatever we have set the standard, we are able to meet or not. So we are going to measure on the regular basis. That is the second step. Then we are going to compare whether the whatever the standards we have set. For example, if you have said that in this month 10% growth should be there, so whether it is 9% or 11%. If it is 11%, then it is satisfactory that you are able to meet the good performance. And then you are going to adjust your if it is 9% growth, then you are going to adjust. Like you can understand the even from the evaluation process of you. Like if you have thought that you are going to the target you have set, the standards you have set, that you should be able to get 90% marks in the fifth semester. So for that you are going to see the evaluation your result in the project, then the tutorial, then the quiz 1 and quiz 2. And like in the first project, if you have scored 88%, then you are going to see that why you have got 88%. So in the next examination you are going to do more so that you can get 92%. So that can be adjusted. So that is how the business organization is also used to do it. That they are going to measure the performance, the standard performance, and then they are going to compare with the standards. Like if you feel that you are lacking somewhere, if I'm talking about the evaluation process, so if you are lacking somewhere else, in the next examination you identify your problem, like you used to discuss with the teacher, like where the problem was, and where the problem was. So after knowing the after getting the feedback from the teacher, you are going to work on that. So you are going to improve them. Then that is what we used to do at the fourth step. So standards, if you define standards, are the selected points in a planning performance at which performance is measured, so that managers can receive signals about how things are going. There are many kinds of standard, like physical standard, cost standard, capital standard, revenue standard, program standard, intangible standard, goals or objectives standard, a strategic plans as control point, a strategic control. Then measurement of performance. Although such measurement is not always predictable, but if standards are appropriately drawn and if means are available for determining exactly what subordinates are doing, then measurement of performance is fairly easy. So definitely the all the time it is very difficult to measure, but there are the measurement tools have been developed to measure the standard. So generally, the may be difficult, but we the business organization used to try on the regular basis. But there are many activities for which it is difficult to develop accurate standards, and there are many activities that are hard to measure, like technical kind of work is hard to measure the performance. Then comparing performance with standards. So that can be the greater than, lesser than, or equal to the standard established standards. Like if you have decided that in the business studies you should be able to get 95% marks. So what it is going to happen that you are going to see first in the project. So if you have set the standard that you should be able to get 95% mark, so sometimes it may be lesser than 95%, equal to, or greater than. So if it is equal or greater than, there is no problem. But if it is lesser than, then you are going to then you are going to correct this one. So actions may be maintaining a status quo. Like if you can think that if it is 95% and you have set the same standard, so you can maintain a status quo. That means on the regular you are going to see that I am going to maintain this one. Then the changing the standard. Sometimes if you think that if you have scored 75%, so if you think that no 95% it is difficult to get, so let us put it at 75%. Or you can take the corrective measures that you have scored less. So let us discuss with the teacher, and whether if there is a problem, let us try to understand and correct it. In the same way, the organization also used to do in the same manner. Then corrections, then the considering the corrections of the deviations. If performance is measured accurately, it is easier to correct deviations. Managers know exactly where the corrective measures must be applied if you are able to measure it correctly. Then managers may correct deviations by redrawing their plans or modifying their goals or clarification of the duties. So this way it can be done. So critical central points for points and the standards, control points and the standards. The standards are yardstick against which expected performance is measured. In simple operations, a manager may control through careful observations, but in most operations, this is not possible because of the complexity of the operations. Manager must choose points for a special attention and then watch them to be sure that the whole operation is proceeding as planned. The points selected for control should be critical. That means the critical or the key the points for for the performance. With such standards, manager can handle a large group of subordinates and plans and working out the principal or critical. Points control states effective control requires attention to these factors critical to evaluating performance against plans. So the questions of selected critical points of controlling. In selection of critical control points, manager must ask themselves such questions like, what will best reflect the goals of my department? So first of all, you should be able to understand what goal is going to matter for you for the department or the organization. Okay. In the same way that you should also understand that when you are studying like BBLLB, so you are having the regular classes and the different component of the evaluation. Apart from that, there are extracurricular activities as well. So you need to decide that where your that means what you are going to do so that your performance is going to matter. So the first point is that what will it indicate me when these goals are not being met? So if you are not able to meet that particular point, so what it is going to indicate for you? Then what will best measure critical decisions? Deviation. So that means if there is a deviation, so what we should be able to measure? What will tell me who is responsible for any failure? That means wherever there is a failure or in the evaluation, if you are not able to get marks, so what is responsibility for that? Whether you are not going to put up the best of the efforts or your technique may be not correct. Then what standard will cost the least? So we also need to understand what if you are working in the organization. So definitely we are going to set the